Outside of him from Council Bluffs, the 4X of Ted Beeman. In row number 2 from Des Moines, the 56C car of Ron Cochran. And outside of him from Riceville, the 31T of Randy Torney. In row number 3 from Story City, the car number 3 of Kelly Shryock. And outside of him, the JD1 car, 5-time Hamilton County Speedway track champion from Story City of Bob Hill. In row number 4 from Adel, the car number 1 of Jeff French. And outside of him, the car number 2 from Des Moines of Don Hoffman. In row number 5 from Papillon, the car number 42 of Mark Wyman, and outside of him from Webster City, the 85R car of Roger Tapper. Of turn number 4, Todd looks him over, work green. We're clean and we're green through 1 and 2 down the backside. It's Ted Beeman, your leader. Jacobs runs second. Torney runs third. Bob Hill looking under him, trying to grab position. Can't quite get it done. Ron Cochran up and grabs the 4th spot away from Hill. Kelly Shryock runs in the number 6 spot. Don Hoffman runs 7th. Jeff French in the number 8 spot. Craig Jacobs challenging for the lead as your leaders work off of turn number 4. Here's your leader right here. Oh, Jeff French gets up high on the racetrack, loses several positions. It's Craig Jacobs, Ted Beeman, Randy Torney, Ron Cochran, Bob Hill, Kelly Shryock. That's your top 6. Now Randy Torney goes past Ted Beeman for the number 2 spot. Bob Hill challenging on the outside of Ron Cochran for that number 4 spot as they come off of turn number 4. Hill up into the number 4 spot. Craig Jacobs, your leader. Torney running second. Ted Beeman running third, now being challenged by Bob Hill. Ron Cochran runs in the number 5 spot. Kelly Shryock now up into 6th. Last time around, Craig Jacobs 20.8. Craig Jacobs, your leader, out front and gone. Your races for the number 3 spot. Bob Hill looking to the low side of Ted Beeman, can't quite get it done. White flag lap this time around for Craig Jacobs. Randy Torney holds on to second. Ted Beeman running third, being challenged by Bob Hill for that position. Kelly Shryock up into the number 5 spot. Here's your winner right here. I'll tell you what, he's got it tied together tonight, finishing third, the 4X car. He's from Council Bluffs of Ted Beeman. Finishing second, the car number 31T from Riceville of Randy Torney. And your race winner from Des Moines, Iowa, the car number 95 of Craig Jacobs. Heat race number 2 pulls on the track. Your pole sitter, the car number 11, he's from Earlham. That's Randy Fox. Outside of him from Carroll, the 25X of Frank Jorgensen. In row number 2 from New Hampton, the 78X of Kenny Farrell, and outside of him from Carroll, the number 33 car of Don Beckstrom. In row number 3, the car number 18 from Fairmont, Minnesota of Todd Stuber, and outside of him He's on a roll, the car number 99D from Marshalltown of Darrell de France. Inside of row number 4 from Messina, the car number 8 of Todd McGee, and outside of him the 7 car from Ames of Dave Sukup. And in the car number 84, in a late model this year from Norris Springs, that's Joe Schmidt. Frank Jorgensen in the front row also. We're green. Oh, we're 3 wide off turn number 2 down the backside. Jorgensen up and grabs the lead. Beckstrom running second. Darrell de France moving up into the number 3 spot as your leaders work off turn number 4. Randy Fox runs 4th. Todd Stuber runs in the number 5 spot. Darrell de France flying on the racetrack. De France up into the lead. It's Darrell de France, Frank Jorgensen, Don Beckstrom, Randy Fox, Todd Stuber. At your top 5 as your leader works off at turn number 4. Todd Stuber up challenging. Oh, look out, look out. We got a car right over the guardrail out of turn number 2. That was Randy Fox in the car number 11 as him and Todd Stuber got together. Todd still under power on the racetrack. That was down. We'll look to go back to green, and we're racing. Down the back chute, it's de France. Beckstrom. Kenny Farrell runs in the number 3 spot. Todd McKee running 4th. Dave Sukup 5th, and Joe Schmidt runs 6th as your leader goes by the start-finish line. Here's your leader right here. Your race is for the number 3 spot. Kenny Farrell holds it. Todd McGee, Dave Sukup, and Joe Schmidt all up there trying to challenge for that position as your leader. Goes into turn number 3. Todd McGee gets high on the racetrack, loses several positions as Darrell de France, your leaders in turn number 3. Beckstrom runs in the number 2 spot. Kenny Farrell runs 3rd. Dave Sukup trying to close on him. Your race for the number 3 position currently held by Kenny Farrell. Dave Sukup right there with him ready to challenge. Darrell de France out front and gone. Don Beckstrom comfortable in that number 2 spot. Joe Schmidt runs in the number 5 position. Todd McGee runs 6 as de France takes the white flag. Your leader in turn number 3, Todd Staley, checkered flag in hand. Here's your heat race winner right here from Marshalltown, the 99D of Darrell de France. Don Beckstrom from Carroll finishes in the number 2 spot. And in the number 3 position from New Hampton, the car number 78 of Kenny Farrell. That concludes your late model heat races. Up next will be our dwarf feature. Council Bluffs, the 4X car of Ted Beeman. In row number 2 from Des Moines, the 56C car of Ron Cochran, and outside of him from New Hampton, the 78X car of Kenny Farrell. In row number 3 from Riceville, the 31T of Randy Torney, and outside of him from Carroll, the number 33 car of Don Beckstrom. In row number 4 from Story City, the car number 3 of Kelly Shryock, and outside of him from Story City, the JD1 car of Bob Hill. In row number 5, from Marshalltown, the number 99 D car of Darrell DeFrance. And outside of him from Messina, the number 8 car of Todd McKee. In row number 6, the number 7 car from Ames of Dave Sukup. And outside of him from Norris Springs, the car number 84 of Joe Schmidt. In row number 7 from Des Moines, the car. In row number 10 from Papillion, Nebraska, the car number 42 of Mark Wyman. And outside of him from Earlham, the number 11 of Randy Fox. In row number 12, the car number 85R, row number 11, the 85R car from Webster City of Roger Tapper, and outside of him from Fairmont, Minnesota, the car number 18 of Todd Stuber. And in the last row, from Adel, the car number 1, that's Jeff French. That's your field. 50 laps the distance of this late model feature race. Late model field coming at you right now. Oh, come on now. We can do better than this. Let them know it. All right. Craig Jacobs from Des Moines, Iowa will control the pace as you're underway in a 50-lap late model Winston 50 coming at you right now. Throttle start to go down. He looks him over. We're green flag racing. Down the back chute and the yellow light comes on the racetrack. Yellow lights come back out on the racetrack. Yellow lights come out of 3. Throttles start to go down. Todd looks him over. And now we're green. We're clean down the backside. Jacobs your leader. Beeman runs second. Cochran third. Randy Torney trying to hold off Bob Hill for the number 4 spot. Kelly Shryock's up into the number 6 position. Ron Cochran running third. Torney runs fourth, being challenged on the low side by Bob Hill as they work into turn number 3. Here's your leader right here. Bob Hill in the number 4 spot as we go off turn number 2. Craig Jacobs out front. Dave Sukup, you can see a problem on that car, pulls into the pit area in front of us as Craig Jacobs comes by the start-finish line. Now Bob Hill goes by Ron Cochran up into the number 3 spot and sets his sights on Ted Beeman as Craig Jacobs comes off turn number 4. Beeman runs second. Hill running third. Randy Torney in the number 4 position. Kelly Shryock up into 5th. Ron Cochran runs in the number 6 spot. Your race currently for the number 2 spot. Hill on the low side of Ted Beeman as they work off turn number 4. Jacobs your leader off turn 4. About to catch up with some lap traffic, and that's when it starts to get interesting. Hill runs second. Beeman runs third. Randy Torney fourth. Kelly Shryock fifth. Ron Cochran in the number 6 spot. Darrell DeFrance runs 7th. Joe Schmidt almost scraping the wall as he goes out of turn number 4. We're still green flag racing. Hill runs in the number 2 spot. Ted Beeman runs 3rd. Torney runs 4th. Shryock running 5th. Ron Cochran runs 6th, and Darrell DeFrance trying to close the gap. Jacobs puts Jeff French a lap down and now looks to the inside of Todd Stuber. Jacobs trying to work through the lap traffic as Bob Hill tries to close the gap. Ted Beeman holds on to the number 3 spot, being challenged by Randy Torney in the 31T car for that number 3 position. Kelly Shryock runs 5th. Darrell DeFrance up into the number 6 spot. Ron Cochran runs 7th. Don Hoffman runs in the number 8 position. Craig Jacobs trying to work through the lap traffic as Bob Hill trying to close the gap. Oh, and now Craig Jacobs' engine goes up in smoke and the yellow lights come out. The yellow lights come out on the racetrack. What a tough break for Craig Jacobs. Throttles go down. We're back to green. DeFrance looking to the low side of Kelly Shryock, trying to move up in position, can't quite get it done as they race into turn number 3. Hill's your leader. Beeman holds on to 2nd. Shryock runs 3rd, DeFrance 4th, and Don Hoffman runs in the number 5 spot. DeFrance once again looks under Shryock, grabs the number 3 spot as they go down the backside. And now Don Hoffman looks to the low side of Kelly Shryock as they rush through turns 3 and 4. Your leaders off turn number 4, Bob Hill out front and comfortable. Beeman a good run tonight in the 4X car, holds on to that number 2 spot. Kelly Shryock, a problem with the 3 car. Going to pull in the staging area directly in front of us. And it looks like he's going to take it to the pit area as Dave Sukup comes right in behind him. Here's your leader right here. A lot of good racing going on farther back. Kenny Farrell and Frank Jorgensen race for position as Todd Stuber tries to move on the outside and does of Don Beckstrom and move up in his position. And the yellow lights come out on the racetrack. Yellow lights, and apparently brought out by the JD1 car. Apparently a problem on that car as the yellow lights come out on the racetrack. Throttles go down. We look to go back to green flag racing, and we're green. DeFrance looks to the low side of Ted Beeman as they work out at turn number 2. Can't quite get it done. Beeman holds him off. Frank Jorgensen's moved up into the number 4 spot in the 25 car as your leaders come off. Turn number 4. Into turn number 3, and the yellow lights come back out on the racetrack. Yellow lights out on the racetrack. Apparently we've got a... Down the back chute, Beeman once again holds off the challenge of Darrell DeFrance. For the lead is Don Hoffman closing, and Frank Jorgensen coming right along in the car number 25 as they come off of turn number 4. Todd Stuber in the car number 18 looking to the inside of Kenny Farrell, trying to move up and grab the number 5 spot as we go down the backside. They go side by side into turn number 3. Stuber down low, Farrell up high. And now Stuber's up and has grabbed the number 5 position as Darrell DeFrance goes by Ted Beeman in turn number 2 and down the backside. Darrell DeFrance, your new leader. Beeman falls back to second. Don Hoffman holds on to third. Now Don Hoffman looking to the low side of Ted Beeman as they race for position out of turn number 2. Hoffman once again looks to the low side of Ted Beeman and brings the car number 2 up into the number 2 position. Beeman drops back to third. Frank Jorgensen holds on to fourth, and Todd Stuber trying to close in the 18 car runs in the number 5 spot. Darrell DeFrance, your leader, out front and comfortable, comes off turn number 4. We're halfway through the Winston 50, and Darrell DeFrance out front and gone for the moment. Hoffman holds on to second. Beeman runs third. Frank Jorgensen fourth, and Todd Stuber closing up in the car number 18 runs in the number 5 spot. Kenny Farrell runs 6th. Roger Tapper 7th. Don Beckstrom runs in the number 8 spot, and Mark Wyman runs 9th. We've got some good racing going on in turns 1 and 2. Kenny Farrell, Roger Tapper, Don Beckstrom, and Mark Wyman all there together as Darrell DeFrance, our leader, starts to close on those cars. Darrell trying to keep it up fairly high on the racetrack to work by those cars. Moves to the inside of Roger Tapper. Now he moves to the outside, can't quite get it done on Kenny Farrell. Once he gets by, there's nothing but clear track in front of him. The French leader. Don Hoffman holds on to second. Ted Beeman runs in the number 3 spot. Frank Jorgensen runs 4th, being challenged by Todd Stuber for that position. Here's your leader. Oh, hold on. Don Hoffman and Roger Tapper together just for a moment. Both of them got a little loose, but they gathered it back up, and we're still green flag racing. Ted Beeman up on the lap cars now, trying to work his way past Frank Jorgensen right there with him, and Todd Stuber coming right along, and all of a sudden, Beeman gets up high. Don't know exactly what happened there, but Frank Jorgensen and Todd Stuber came by him. So now, Frank Jorgensen runs third. Todd Stuber in the number 4 spot. Ted Beeman runs in the number 5 spot as Darrell DeFrance goes by the start-finish line. Oh, we've got a mess in the back chute. It looks like Don Beckstrom involved in that over there. I can't see what other cars. Kenny Farrell might be over there. I mean, this 50-50 number just as soon as we can. The green flag comes back out, and we're back to racing at the Winston 50 here at the Hamilton County Speedway. Down the back chute is still Darrell DeFrance, Don Hoffman, Frank Jorgensen, Todd Stuber, Ted Beeman. That's your top 5 as your leaders come off turn number 4. Beeman up and challenging Todd Stuber for that number 4 spot, and grabs it as we go down the backside. Your leaders in turn number 3. It's DeFrance, Hoffman, Frank Jorgensen, Ted Beeman, and Todd Stuber, your top 5. Kenny Farrell runs in the number 6 spot. Don Beckstrom runs in the number 7 spot. Mark Wyman runs 8th, and Roger Tapper in the number 9 spot. Darrell DeFrance starts to pull away from the field. Hoffman runs in the number 2 position, being challenged by Frank Jorgensen in the 25 car. We've got a real race going a little farther back here with Kenny Farrell, Don Beckstrom, and Mark Wyman. It's still Darrell DeFrance out front and going. Hoffman holding on to second. Frank Jorgensen running third. Ted Beeman trying to close it up, runs in the number 4 spot. Todd Stuber runs 5th in the car number 18. Kenny Farrell runs 6th. Don Beckstrom 7th. Mark Wyman 8th. And Roger Tapper 9th. We're 41 laps down in this 50 lap late model feature race. And now Ted Beeman looks to the outside of Frank Jorgensen as they race for the number 3 spot. Beeman back up into 3rd. Jorgensen drops back to 4th. Hoffman runs in the number 2 spot. And Don Beckstrom slow on the racetrack at the top of turn number 4. That'll bring out the yellow light and bring the field back together. We're 42 laps down. Don Beckstrom pulls into the pit area directly. Yellow lights are out. We're looking to go back to green. Todd gives him the flag, and we're racing. Beeman giving it a shot as they work through 1 and 2. Couldn't quite get it done. Tries to stay right there, drives right into the corners as DeFrance comes off turn number 4. Hoffman running second. Beeman runs third. Frank Jorgensen fourth. Todd Stuber runs in the number 5 spot. Roger Tapper runs 6th. Kenny Farrell 7th, and Mark Wyman runs 8th. Year leaders in turn number 3. Frank Jorgensen trying to move the yellow number 25 up on Ted Beeman as they race for that number 3 spot. Todd Stuber trying to come along in the blue number 18 as your leader comes by the start-finish line. DeFrance brings the 99 car off turn number 4 to complete lap number 48 of this 50-lap feature. Don Hoffman holds on to second. We've got a race developing for the number 3 spot with Ted Beeman. Frank Jorgensen right there with him, and Todd Stuber trying to close it up. Todd Staley, white flag in hand, about to show it to our race leader, Darrell DeFrance. Darrell DeFrance, your leader in turn number 3, brings it into turn number 4, now into the front chute. And here's the winner of your Winston 50 here tonight at the Hamilton County Speedway. Finishing in the number 3 spot from Council Bluffs, the 4X car of Ted Beeman. Finishing in the number 2 position from Des Moines, Iowa, the car number 2 of Don Hoffman. And your winner from Marshalltown, Iowa, the car number 99, that's Darrell DeFrance. I tell you what, I think that's Darrell's 8th Racing Series sign. Perry Thomas, our photographer, will get some pictures along with Jason Haney, our trophy guy tonight. The trophy sponsored by Crosley and Foster Insurance right here in Webster City, and we appreciate that. And there he is right now, ladies and gentlemen, your Winston 50 winner here tonight at the Hamilton County Speedway. That's Darrell DeFrance. Come on now, we can do better than that. This guy drove a good race.